What's up, Capricorns? This is your monthly overview reading for the month of March 2023. We're going to be explaining what to look out for. We do have a lot to talk about. We're going to be explaining what two houses will be highlighted for you this month, talk about the new moon and full moon of this month, and talk about these three huge transits, these three huge shifts that are happening, these sign changes that are happening this month. And this is like, we are entering a whole new chapter. I've mentioned March being like the biggest month of the whole year in my other videos, so we do have a lot to talk about. So this is your video if you are a Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Rising, or fall for any Capricorn placements. This video will be for you. So what's happening this month and why is this such a big month? Well, let's just start by saying, where the sun's at, where the sun will be traveling. The sun will continue this trend of focusing on the third house of of siblings, short trips, education, your interests, the rational side of your mind. It could be about communication, connecting online, like social media, interacting with people. It will continue this trend like it started last month. Before entering the fourth whole sign house of Aries, which I will talk a little bit more about, but this will just focus on like your home life and family and all that stuff. So I'll get into that a little later, but we have like this third house kind of like being focused for you right now this month. Mercury will be entering your third whole sign house of Pisces at the beginning of the month, and this is going to shift your whole mindset. Mercury is the planet about communication, our rational side. It's about transportation. It's about processing information, sharing details, and focusing on the details. But Mercury is entering the sign of its fall in Pisces. It doesn't really like to be in this sign. Mercury likes to be in the two signs that it rules, which is Virgo and Gemini, which is about communicating, being sociable, focusing on the details, all that stuff. But Mercury being in the sign of Pisces, this is a Jupiter ruled sign. This is about looking at the bigger picture, your bigger visions, your dreams, being focused on spirituality, being more idealistic. So you're gonna have to be more creative in the way you express yourself. I mean, these planets in the Pisces will be making a 60-degree angle to your cap placements. So if you do have any cap placements in there, your sun, moon, or any other planet, they will be forming like a harmonious sextile, which is good. It's an opportunity aspect. So this could create more opportunities. So even though Mercury being in the sign of Pisces in its fall might be a little challenging at times, it could create more, fertile energy into mixing the water sign in with the earth sign. These two signs get along, they connect better. That's kind of another way of explaining a sextile too. It's kind of like connecting two people or two best friends together, that work together or something like that. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, so Mercury being in Pisces in the third, you could be communicating more online with people, connecting with other people, connecting with siblings, maybe neighbors, people in your local environment, your local neighborhood. You could be socializing with them a lot more. But yeah, like I said, you're gonna have to be more creative in the way you're expressing your thoughts or your interests. What else could I say? Let me see my notes. Yeah, I think I basically said exactly what I wrote down. Okay. Yeah, what else could I say? You could be learning more. You can be, the third house is kind of like school level education. So not really higher education, but just local stuff you might have, learned growing up and all that stuff. Your mind's gonna be focusing on that. So the next thing happening will be this full. Oh, whoops, wrong thing. My bad, guys. It's a little error there. Okay, the next thing is happening is this full moon happening in Virgo, which is going to be in your ninth whole sign house. And like I said, kind of the third and ninth house is about education and all that stuff. The third house is about lower education, basic education. The ninth house is about the higher education. This is kind of the college level or courses or something, education that you learn. So having this full moon here, this is a completion. This is things coming to fruition. This is illuminating what we don't normally see. It's like illuminating the night when it's, you know, at night, because it's reflecting the sun's light. But there's like some kind of balance happening between ninth house stuff. And I should mention the moon in Virgo is about, you know, being more grounded, more practical in the way you feel, because it's the moon, it's our emotions. And Virgo is about being practical, being it could be about being critical at times, focusing on the details, the facts of things. It's about adapting too. It's a mutable sign. But the ninth house, like this is like you're becoming more aware of like maybe these truths, these philosophies, these principles that maybe you've been learning. You're finally understanding like something around that area of life for you, Capricorns. So let's see, what else can I say? This is the ninth house is all about religion too. It's about, I think I said philosophy, but yeah, that's it's about foreign places, foreign languages, anything foreign. There's more awareness around this stuff. So maybe you've been learning a lot of other like local stuff and maybe school or just your neighborhood. And when this full moon occurs, you'll start to, you know, understand like, okay, so I need to like understand that there's more details into like what I'm learning in my local environment or something like that. That's something I can say about that. What else can I say? Yeah, I think that's about it. So the next thing happening will be Saturn entering your third whole sign house of Pisces. And this is one of the shifts happening this month. This is a huge change. This is a whole new chapter that we are entering, especially with Saturn. Saturn usually takes about, you know, Saturn stays in a sign for about 2.5 to 3 years, like I mentioned earlier in the video about this whole new chapter that we're entering. But Saturn, it's about reality, it's about authority figures, it's about like hard work, constructing, it's about structures, it's about building things, making things real. Having Saturn in the sign of Pisces is it's a different kind of energy than what Saturn normally likes. Saturn has been in its two home signs of Cap and Aquarius past like 5 to 6 years, but it's entering this Jupiter ruled kind of sign, like I mentioned, and this third house is like kind of building up. Like you can see like this stellium happening, which is like a bunch of planets in a certain area of life or certain sign. So there's a huge focus right there. But back to what I was saying about Saturn. So Saturn, you know, entering Pisces, this is kind of like I said, it's kind of it's a different energy that Saturn normally likes. Saturn is about reality, and Pisces is about, you know, imagination, about endless, you know, boundless stuff. It's about the spiritual side. And so like when you kind of combined the planet of reality or containment or boundaries or limitations or restrictions in the sign that has to do with, like I said, spirituality, faith, or fate, you could say, the idealistic side, like it's a different kind of energy to like what we're normally, you know, I would say. So, but what I could say and give advice for would be is you might feel lost at times, because it's kind of like you're not really sure like where things are headed. You're not really sure what's going to happen in the long term. Saturn is also about the long-term goals and your long-term energy, what you want to create for the long term. But it's like you're going to have to find or create more boundaries or limitations in your third whole sign house, which is about your local environment, your local neighborhood. So, or it could be, you know, creating boundaries in your local, like I said, in your local environment, creating boundaries with siblings, neighbors, relatives. That's another thing. Or creating more boundaries with being on social media. That's a huge thing. Or you might also, I should say, there's other thing. Saturn entering the third house will kind of have you more focused on disciplining your mind, like becoming more disciplined in the way you communicate, the way you express your thoughts, your expressions, your interests. So you could feel maybe limited at times. But the good thing is, yes, Saturn's kind of a pain sometimes, but if you really work hard, do the step-by-step things, learn something, like it's in the third house of learning and education and communicating. So it's like if you kind of take these little, if you express your communication a little bit slower, a little bit easier, it will be a lot easier, I should say. But just take your time. That's another Saturn keyword. It's all about time. So you can't just be like, okay, Saturn's here, I have to, be more disciplined. Right now, I need to communicate exactly what I'm feeling or what I'm thinking. It's gonna kind of just like focus on your mind and just like, okay, let's just kind of take this one step at a time. We don't have to say everything that we want to say. We can just be more mature in the way we express our thoughts or something like that. That's what I'm kind of getting, as having Saturn in the third house and all that stuff. So let's move on to the next thing. It's going to be Venus entering the sign of Taurus and entering your fifth whole sign house. It's entering an earth sign. This is good for you Capricorns. This is making making a trine to your cap placements. If you have any cap placements in there, you will be getting more blessings from Venus. Venus is the planet of love, connections, attraction, indulgence, passions. What else? What else? Oh, self-worth, self-esteem. Entering the fifth house. Venus likes to be in the fifth house, I should say. So this is about, everything to do with Venus: love, romance, pleasures, having fun, enjoyment. The fifth house represents children too, so like it's like you can express your creative side or express more love to children, or just express your love in a more creative way. And this is gonna feel good. This is gonna and it's in the sign of Taurus. She loves to be in the sign of Taurus. She rules Taurus. This is gonna be about, wanting more stability, wanting more comfort in this kind of area of life, Venus will be moving over the North Node in Taurus, which is just gonna amplify all these desires and that you want. You're gonna be attracted to all these things, and you're gonna be like, okay, I want more enjoyment. I want more. You're gonna be hungry for that. That's what the North Node is all about. It's about heading in that direction. Ooh, what's that new thing? It's kind of like that, and you're like, I want that. And then having Venus there, it's all about wanting stuff. So you're gonna have this huge huge passion and huge hunger for wanting stability, wanting to be more creative and be more comfortable in your creative side. I hope that makes sense. And then Venus will will pass over Uranus, which will kind of shift and change these, relationships or the way you relate to others or the way you express your side. It could change some your money side too. That's also Venus. Venus rules money too. So having in the fifth house, this could help you with being more creative and earn money or something like that. That's what I'm saying. And having it conjunct Uranus, connect with Uranus, this will bring unexpected possibilities of what you can attract or something. That's what I can get from that. Okay, the next thing happening is Mercury entering your fourth whole sign house of Aries. Now these planets will start to move in your fourth house. They're leaving the third house of Pisces. Mercury is leaving its sign of fall, so this is gonna be a lot clearer in the way. You're gonna get a lot more clarity in what you're thinking or communicating. It's gonna be in Aries, which is gonna be very quick, very sharp, very energetic in the way you're thinking or communicating. It's entering your fourth house, which is focusing on your home and private life, your family, your domestic side. You could be either communicating more with these family members or being more confident with your family members, or Mercury being in the fourth house could maybe have you having you have more hidden ways, hidden thoughts. You might have to hide away some thoughts, some ideas, something like that. Like that's kind of because it's the fourth house at the bottom of your chart. You could be maybe expressing yourself more in your home, but you could also kind of like maybe at times hide some ways of like thinking. That's kind of what I'm getting here. What else could I say? You could be, expressing your maternal instincts, in a way that's maybe impulsive, in a way that's more active, energetic, something like that. Maybe something like that. Yeah, that's what I'm getting from that. And then followed by the sun entering the sign of Aries, which the sun loves to be in Aries. It's exalted here. It's entering your fourth house, shifting this whole energy to focus more on your home life and stuff, and putting more energy into your home or energy into your family, or energy into like doing things in your private life. This is a kind of hidden house, like I mentioned with Mercury. You might be maybe doing a lot of stuff around the home. That's something that can come up, and followed by this new moon happening in the sign of Aries, which is just going to refresh all these topics of what I just mentioned already. Everything is moving into Aries. This is the spring equinox. This is, things starting up again. This is things birthing. This is things initiating. There's something new happening in this area of life, and it's being refreshed for you. So if this could bring some challenges because it is forming a 90-degree angle to your Cap placement, so you could have some drama with family, something like that. But it's just really focused. Like this huge stellium right here is happening in your fourth house. We got Jupiter, Chiron, Moon, Mercury, and the Sun. Everything is just at the bottom of your chart. It's focusing on your home, focusing on your family and all that stuff. So this could bring, this could be expanding more energy with your family. This can bring you more family if you're expanding your family or whatever, something like that. Expanding your property, that's another thing I forgot to mention. You could be maybe getting a new house, something like that. Maybe focusing on real estate. Just getting down to your roots. That's just what the energy is kind of, looking like to me for this. Let's see. So the next thing happening is Pluto entering your second whole sign house of Aquarius. Pluto has been in your sign of Capricorn since 2008. This has been a slow moving transit, and it will continue. This is the second other big thing happening this month. Yes, it's leaving Capricorn, but it'll kind of be doing this back and forth thing, moving back into Capricorn, doing it retrograde, and then moving back into Aquarius, and back into Capricorn, and then back into Aquarius over the next couple years. So Pluto, what's Pluto? Pluto is about power, it's about transformation, it's about rebirth, it's about death, it's about obsessions. What else can I say? Pluto can represent corporations and governments. That's just another, it's like the darker sides of life. It could also represent our subconscious self, the psychological mind, things that we don't normally see. That's Pluto. And it's entering the second whole sign house of Aquarius, which is, what's the second house? This is about your finances. This is about your personal values. This is about investments. This is about values, possessions, priorities. This is going to transform all of these topics over the next 20 years, guys. I'm telling you, this is going to be a huge transit. But like I said, Pluto is just entering. You will be doing this back and forth thing, but you'll start to hear or see some like preview or a glimpse into the future. So it is in the sign of Aquarius, which is about the future. It's about innovation. It's about the community, being like socializing and all that stuff, humanitarian stuff. You're going to understand a lot of things changing in your financial sector of life. This is a huge thing. You will start to notice it. But like I said, this is a slow moving transit, so this will uncover and unfold in a very slow moving, time consuming way. But you'll understand what's going on and what's changing for you in this area of life. So the last thing happening will be, let me just get this right again, hold on. Okay, the last thing happening is Mars entering the sign of Cancer, entering your seventh whole sign house. Mars has been in Gemini in your 6th whole sign house for like 7 months, since August of 2022. This is the other huge transit that's happening this month. It's a whole new territory that Mars is entering. Mars doesn't like to be in the sign of Cancer as much. It's in its sign, it's fall. It could bring a lot more emotional, passive-aggressive energy. Mars is about our drive, our actions, our survival instincts. It's about cutting. It's about severing. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, and it's entering the sign of Cancer, which is about, being emotional, kind of like that maternal instinct, maternal side to you. It's entering the 7th house of relationships. So this is kind of like putting most of your energy into your relationships, or maybe cutting out some relationships that you don't want anymore. This could also be about cutting out business contracts. Maybe if you're dealing with marriage and you're cutting out a marriage or something. Let's see. The 7th house also represents support or commitments. Like I said, this could be either, putting more energy into that stuff. It is opposing your sign of Capricorn. So this could bring a lot more like acceptance, but it could also bring a lot of challenges. So you got to just kind of weigh things out if you're dealing with any confrontations or conflicts with your relationships or just other people. So that's kind of what I'm getting here. That's basically it. I mean, overall, this month will mainly focus on, your 3rd house of like your local environment, putting all this like energy into this. But once the planets get into the Aries in your 4th, you'll be shifting your focus into, your home life and your family and all that stuff. So that is what I got for you. If you want more information, look in the description below, and I'll see you in the next video.